Bien voilà, bonjour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your presence here at this virtual press conference. This afternoon, we had a video conference of the G5 Sahel.
That we had planned a summit with the leaders of the G5 Sahel in March. It was not possible to confirm this meeting because of the COVID-19, and that's why today we had this video conference which was prepared with the G5 leaders. We have agreed to continue politically to work together in order to give more support for this very important region, and we have adopted a common statement in order to support security, peace, stability in the region. We also have considered that it's important to try to convince other international partners to join the Coalition for Sahel, and this Coalition for Sahel has been announced a few months ago during the meeting in Pau. Cette coalition pour le Sahel qui est...
This coalition, which was announced in Pau, is aimed at significantly increasing the support that we offer to this region in order to better combat terrorism and also to support the states and the region's capabilities to be deployed throughout the entire territory so that we can encourage also the development efforts. At our video conference today, a number of additional concrete steps were announced by the EU to support the different countries in the region in order to succeed in pushing back this terrorist threat. Another substantive point that we discussed today was the question of mobilising efforts to combat COVID-19, which is affecting the entire world, including the African continent and the countries in question. In that respect, the Sahel countries had a meeting together where they expressed a number of expectations for the international community. And there the question of the African debt was raised. There was a request for that debt to be relieved. And as you know, with COVID-19, there have been several voices to raise this whole question of the African debt on our international agendas. We have agreed together to have this debate with the Member States, with our international partners, the International Monetary Fund in particular, and we would like to meet again, probably by video conference, in the next 3 months in order to take stock of all of the measures that have been taken in the context of the Coalition for the Sahel and all the steps that have been taken in terms of COVID-19 for health throughout the world and also health in that region, and looking at the consequences as well in terms of economic impact and the pressure on the different national budgets. So that's some basic information I wanted to share with you further to today's video conference.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. If anyone wants to raise a question to the President, please do so by putting up your blue hand. I can't see anyone on my screen as yet. Je ne vois pas encore des gens qui veulent.
I can't see any hands raised yet for our President.
Still, Terry Schultz, I see you raising a hand. Yes, please, go ahead. Please, are you connected? Terry? I suggest we pass the floor to Patrizia Antonini. Patrizia? We can't hear you, unfortunately. Please unmute. Patrizia?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. I would like to know, good afternoon, Mr. President. I would like to know what are the concrete steps we're taking to support the five countries Sahel in order to tackle the COVID-19? Thank you.
Thank you for this question. The very first decision we have already taken at the external level is the fact that we have decided as European Union to give more flexibility in the funding for this region because of the COVID-19. And it will be possible to reorientate in the very short term some financial means in order to give them the possibility to act in order to strengthen their sanitary systems, which will be very important. But of course, it's not enough. We need to do more. And that's why they have expressed some very concrete requests yesterday evening during their video conference. And I've taken the commitment to work with all the colleagues at the European level in order to look how is it possible to mobilize more means in the future. And this is a very important question. It's the question of the debt release. It's not a new debate, of course, at the international level, but we understand that in the current circumstances, because of the COVID-19 and because of the potential very huge effects at the economic level of the COVID-19 everywhere in the world, but also in Africa, I think that there is a legitimate question: how is it possible to support the African countries by opening this political debate about the debt relief? I've already expressed my own opinion on that. I think it will be important with the international community to take steps in order to give more possibilities for those countries to have more means, more capacities in order to fulfill what they have to fulfill. But it's very important to have a common international approach. Of course, at the European level, but not only at the European level. I think that the international community should look how it is possible to support the African countries by opening this political discussion. Another very important point, I think, is the fact that it's important in the future to build a new, very strong strategy between the European Union and the African continent. And you probably have seen that during our last European Council, we have decided to discuss a recovery strategy based on 4 pillars, and one of those pillars is the external action, with especially a strong focus on Africa.
Okay, next question. Terry Schultz, are you there now? Maybe you were muted before. Can you hear us? Terry?
Mrs. Schultz, we can hear you.
Yes. Please go ahead. Yes, unfortunately that's not working out. I'm passing the floor to Lucio Menin. Lucio?
Hello? Yes, hello, I'm here. I just wanted to ask you, President, what is the financial packet and the sanitary packet? I mean, PPEs and other help of that kind attached to this agreement? Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, it's important to know that the European Union, the last 6 years, we have mobilized for this region 4.5 billion euros in order to support the security, the development. And because of the sanitary situation, we've also taken the decision to strengthen the means for this region. We have added about 200 million euros for the Coalition for Sahel. And because of the COVID-19, we have decided to make more flexibility possible in order to give them the possibility to reorientate some European means to what they need to do for the health sector. It's in the very short term, and we've taken the decision to have again a new conference in 3 months in order to try to take more decisions with them, especially the debt relief will be an important topic.
Okay. I'm trying again. Terry Schultz, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please put your question to the President.
Sorry about that. Sorry. President Michel, this is a bit off topic of today, but an important topic. There are reports that a report on Chinese disinformation overall has been changed inside the EEAS. I'm sure you've seen these reports. Are you concerned? Are you looking into those? There is a new letter coming from some MEPs saying that the truth about whether this report has been changed really needs to come out. Thank you.
I don't have information about this, and it's not my intention to react right now about this topic.
Okay. And we're going to the last question. David Hersenhorn, please put your question to the President.
Hello, Mr. President. I remember when you were visiting Addis, you were in Africa at the African Union Summit. At that point, the MFF was also very much on your mind, and you were very much in the middle of the debate. And I think your African partners know that until the EU countries, the member states, have figured out what they will do with their own budget, it's hard for them to also think beyond how to help their sister continent next door. So I wonder, do you have any more clarity about how the time schedule is progressing in the plans for the MFF? Are you confident that on May 6th, the Commission will come back to you, or do you have a sense that that may slip further into the spring?
No, you are right. It's very important to have the clarity for the next European budget. It's important in the interest of the different member states, but it's also very essential in order to be able to develop a very strong international strategy. And without MFF, it's not possible to have the clarity about what are the means we can mobilize, we can use in order to follow our strategy at the external level. First point. Second point, you know that based on the last European Council, it's the intention of the Commission to make some very concrete proposals on the budget after COVID-19 in order to take into consideration the consequences of COVID-19 and also on a possible recovery fund. It was a decision taken by the European Council. And in the next days, in the next weeks, and certainly during the next months, we will see what are the proposals made by the Commission, and based on the proposals made by the Commission, I will appreciate, in consultation with the Member States, when we will have the next meetings, the next European Council, in order to tackle this important topic. And I hope, indeed, that it will be possible to take decisions as soon as possible. It's important in order to have the clarity for the Member States about what are the European means that we will mobilize for the recovery strategy, which is important based on the COVID-19. It's also important because the external action is also part of our recovery strategy. And I repeat that the recovery strategy will be based on 4 chapters, on 4 pillars. And one of those 4 chapters is exactly the external action and certainly the partnership with Africa.
Thank you very much for joining us for this virtual press conference. See you soon. Thanks a lot.